Okay,
MI 2024-004-441 for the property located at 1428 North 56th Street, and MI 2024-002-886 for the property 1428 North 56th Street. The appellant is Scott
okay.
Murdock.
With that, Tom, is this case, could you tell us what happened with this case? Is it done?
So in the prior to
Hello?
Should we
Yes.
stop the recording and start all over again? I don't think Mr. Kelly was ready.
REID.
Hey, Aim.
Phil, you're on mute. I know you're trying to read it in.
I'm sorry.
Aim, can you do me a favor, Aim? Can you handle this when I have an emergency out here?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back in.
I'll just read the two items on the record. This is MI 2024-004-441 for the property 1428 North 56th Street. Scott Murdock is the appellant. And MI 2024-002-886 for 1428 North 56th Street. Again, Scott Murdock is the appellant. He's present in the room.
Okay, I'm Amy Rivera, board member.
Ed Agus, board member.
Brian McSherry, board counsel.
Philip Motto, board's administration.
Jay Scurria, Department of License and Inspections.
Thomas Rybakowski, City of Philadelphia License and Inspections.
All right, Mr. Rybakowski, can you present the case?
Yeah.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. So prior to today's proceedings, I've been in contact with the appellant, Mr. Murdock. I've spoken to him on both matters that are in front of this board. The first one is MI 2024-004441, and that is an appeal in association to a unsafe case that was written against the property. Mr. Murdock has supplied an engineer's report by Mr. Henry, basically detailing that yes, repairs do need to be made to the property, but that the property is structurally safe. With that report, the department has closed the unsafe case and marked the unsafe case complied. There is an outstanding case on the property for work without permits, and in communications with Mr. Murdock, he does know that. That is what brings us to the second appeal that's in front of the board, and that is for docket number 3, MI 2024-002-886, and that is in association to the work without a permit. It's been illustrated to Mr. Murdock that the department is willing to give him 90 days to get a standard building permit for the alterations to this property, and that's what I'm proposing to the board.
All right, Mr. Murdock, do you want to present? I have to swear you in first.
Okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Everything that Mr. Rybakowski just said is what has resulted from several conversations, the production of my engineer report by Trevor Henry, and we are willing to take whatever steps necessary. Hopefully we can get easy permits and go through with the easy alterations as well as the mechanical, electric, and plumbing. And I have an expediter that handles that on a daily basis.
All right, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but he needs a make safe permit before an easy permit?
No.
Not a make safe, but a...
Not a make safe permit. There is some structural, there's an alteration on the front porch that's detailed in the report. So it would be a little bit more involved than just an easy permit. But he's already engaged the services of Mr. Henry. I think that can be easily addressed and way beyond the 90-day period.
Okay. Mr. Murdock, you're okay with having a permit within 90 days?
Yes,
End of case. Thank you.
thank you.
So our next case, I guess we'll go back to case number 1706 Latona Street. Applicant is Michael Reed. Michael, are you in the room?
You're on mute.
mute, sir.
Is anyone in the room for 1706 Latona Street?
Sorry, yes, my
There
name
you
is
are,
Michael
okay.
Reed. I'm so sorry. Yes,
okay.
but I'm in the intake room, down in the concourse. My phone is on 1%. So if it pleases the board, I have the woman who works the desk. I could maybe call in, or we can maybe just try it until the phone dies. But I'm so sorry.
Okay, we'll try. Michael Reed, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tom Rybakowski, I'm going to swear you in again. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Tom, go.
So
I'm sorry,
essentially,
Amy,
we
can I
have,
read this one in?
I'm sorry, Phil, read it in.
This is MI 2024-004-442 for 1706 Latona Street. Michael Reed is the appellant. He's present.
so essentially on this property, we have a property that at 1706 Latona Street that has been declared as eminently dangerous by the department. So at first, I'd like to address not jurisdiction issue, but a untimely filing issue and get the board's ruling on that that fact first, and then if that's decided, then go to the merits of the case. But first, this appeal was taken June 10th of 2024. This violation was issued following an inspection that took place on May 8th of 2024, with a notice being sent on May 9th of 2024 following the inspection and also posting of the property. The appeal was filed roughly a month after the notices were provided by the department. And that's an untimely filing. So with that, I would address or ask the board to deny the appeal in its entirety as an untimely filing. I'd wait for the ruling, and then we could go to the merits of the case.
Ted, do you want to caucus about it? I'm okay with hearing the case.
Yeah,
It's eminently dangerous, so I don't want to delay it. And I think we just lost Mr. Reed.
I think you're right.
Okay, let's hold on this case and we'll move on to the next case until he can come back.
Forgive me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is there not, there's another violation, or is that the only other one?
There's one more violation.
There's
One more
violation.
violation for 6323 Wheeler Street.
Right. So if he doesn't make it back by the time, obviously we can't keep Tom here indefinitely, but we'll, yeah, I guess then we'll have to maybe discuss it with Tom without the appellant present if necessary.
Has anyone inquired in the room? Is anyone here representing the interests of 6323 Wheeler Street?
The appellant is named Nakia Roper.
No answer from anyone in the room, and no one named Nakia Roper in the room or the waiting room.
Okay, we'll proceed with the case. Tom, can I swear you in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Phil, will you read it in?
Yes, this is MI 2024-001-097 for the property located at 6323 Wheeler Street. Nakia Roper is the appellant. There was no answer to the call of the name for Nakia Roper, and no one is in the waiting room waiting to come in.
Okay, Tom, go ahead.
So we have a property at 6323 Wheeler Street that has been declared as unsafe following an inspection that took place on February 7th of 2024, where the department declared the property as unsafe due to issues with the front porch and the main and fire damage to the property itself. In the interest of time, I'll just share my screen and it'll show the photos of the property taken at the time of the emergency. It's the main roof, porch, and bay that suffered the damage. And with that said, I'll share my screen.
Are we locked into just going back to January of 2024?
Can everybody see my screen?
Coming up. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so what we have here is the posting at the time of the call. It was posted February 7th of 2024. Posting illustrates main roof, porch, and bay. With the damage, you can see that there was a photograph of the interior showing some damage to the floor or to the ceiling, with the lath being removed, and you can see that there's been damage to that portion of the structure. There is also another photograph showing the damage of the property itself. I'll flip it, but that was the front. You can see it's an enclosed porch that suffered the damage. And I'll spin it. One more. There we go. So and then the property was re-inspected June 25th of 2024. You can see that the property has been sealed and a tarp has been affixed over the enclosed porch. We would be asking for a make-safe permit to be issued within 60 days for the repair of the property.
Tom, that has a different address on it. That says 6321.
Yes, because it was taken with the mobile apps GPS locator.
Okay.
Sometimes if you stand in front of the property on just to the left or just to the right, it will actually pick up the GPS location on the neighboring properties. I've had ones where I step off the curb and it actually picks up the address from across the street. But it is marked as the same case reference, and it does illustrate the ceiling of the property.
So we are looking at 6323 Wheeler.
We are looking at 6323 Wheeler. This is the property prior to that work being done, and essentially these things match.
What was the work done? Was it just boarded up and a tarp?
Not really work in the way of repair. It was just sealing the property.
2024, right?
Okay. What is your recommendation?
Well, I'm proposing to the board for a permit to be at least in the system within 60 days.
The permit having been applied for within 60 days.
Yes.
And there's still nobody here from the appellant. So I mean, Amy, I'm fine with Tom's recommendation on that.
I am also. Okay. I don't see Mr. Reed back in the room. And our next hearings are not until 2 o'clock. So I don't know if anyone's here from those hearings.
So I sent down my charger for Mr. Michael Reed for him to attend the hearing.
Okay. All right, why don't we stop
Well, I didn't
recording?
know he was here until
We play games.
Okay. Who is in the room from 1706 Latona, and who is going to testify? Give me your names.
My name is Michael Reed for 1706 Latona Street, REID. First name
Okay.
Michael.
Okay, Michael. Who is anybody else with you, Mike?
No, sir.
Just yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Michael, could you raise your right hand? I want to swear you in, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tom Robakowski, could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
Okay.
Ryan McSherry, Board Counsel.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jace Correa, Department of License and Inspections.
Thomas
Okay.
Radikowski, City of Philadelphia License and Inspections.
Bill, could you read that into the record, please?
Yes, sir. This is MI 2024-004-442 for the property 1706 Latona Street. Michael Reed is the appellant. He's present in the room.
Okay, Tom or Mike, Tom, you want to go first or want Michael to go first?
So the matter that was before the board, before we got into opening remarks was, there was an issue with a untimely filing. This property has been declared as eminently dangerous with a case, that is in front of the board. The inspection took place May 8th of 2024 with a notice being dated May 9th of 2024. And then an appeal being filed June 10th of 2024. That is past the posted and the illustrated appeal period. The appeal period on the notice was you have the right to appeal this notice. Your appeal must be filed by May 4th of 2024. I'd like to first put that in front of the board and have a ruling whether or not this should be heard or if it should be denied in its entirety as a late filing, and then depending upon that ruling, move forward with the hearing itself.
Wayne, I had expressed that I think we should hear the case.
I agree. If you're here, we'll hear it.
Application, I'll put,
That
Thank
Ted,
said,
are you good with it?
the name. Definitely.
Excuse the
You're on
background
mute,
noise.
Ted.
I'm in the concourse.
Intake room.
In the intake room, and Miss Janet is helping another person, so I'm sorry, that's not me speaking.
That's okay, no problem. We understand. Yeah, we'll hear the case.
that said, I would defer my opening remarks until Mr. Reed has completed his opening remarks before testimony.
Okay, Mr. Reed, would you tell us what your story is with this project?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. First, I want to apologize for my tardiness. In addition to my project on Latona Street, I'm a part of a podcast that tours the country throughout the summer. And at first notice of it, I flew back home. But I these are like 5,000 people a show, and they paid to see us come. So I'm so sorry about that. But as soon as I got back, that's the first thing I did was come here. But basically, where we are with 1706 Latona Street, which is a property that I purchased from a family friend, Mr. Kenneth Wallace. And then me and Mr. Kenneth Wallace decided to add a third story in addition onto the property. We retained a company to do that work. That company took our money. They gave us plans. They began the work. Ultimately, they tore the place down and kind of left the job. We really didn't. Yeah, they took about $75,000. It's the ML3 group based out of New Jersey. My cousin, Mr. Kenneth Wallace, was the one who kind of vetted the company. And he delivers packages in that area, so he was familiar with the company in the area. Long story short, we entered into a contract with the ML3 group. We saw blueprints for what was to be a third story with rooftop and then an interior renovation top to bottom. All of those permits were pulled. Work had started. That's why the demolition took place. Ultimately, my cousin, Mr. Wallace, gave them about $65,000 to buy some wood in order to put that third story and roof on, and the guy just skipped town. It took us like 7 or 8 months to kind of, regather ourselves. We had about $10,000-$15,000 left, and we said, this is probably, we got a lawyer. He said, it's probably better to begin to sue because you can't put the house back together with 10 grand. So we started that lawyer paperwork, tried to serve this guy. He changed companies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, once we got that notification of the violation, I reached out to an engineer, Mr. Clancy. I believe that the complaint, I spoke with Mr. Anthony first. Mr. Anthony said, Mike, we have to do something about this because your neighbor's complaining. There is no roof. First, it was brought to us because there was an issue with the cornice. We corrected that with the inspector. Long story short, once we got the notice of imminently danger, I called Mr. Clancy. Mr. Clancy was on vacation. He has since come out, inspected their property. We have also found new funding. I'm just gonna have to get a hard money loan, me and Mr. Wallace, so we can find a new contractor. I've already identified a new contractor, somebody I have done work with, somebody that is already licensed. He doesn't come back from the Dominican Republic until April the 1st. August the 1st, at which time I'll have a hard money deal closed to, I'll be at a loss, but ultimately, I need to complete the project where it sits. Like I said, I've already spoke to Mr. Clancy. I do have a letter from Mr. Clancy saying that the building is not imminently dangerous and that it could support the resuming of the plans. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Michael,
it's
who's
been going on
Mr. Clancy?
James Clancy, he's a structural engineer. I have used him previously, and I believe he might have sent it to Miss Deborah, but there should be a letter. And if not, then as soon as I get my stuff together, I can forward that to you. But after I got your notice, I talked to Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah was like, well, you need an engineer, you need a plan. Ms. Deborah was gracious enough to put me on a schedule, but now I do have an engineer. I do have a plan forward. The last issue was capital because this guy took a lot of our money. Good thing we had other assets that we're able to leverage, and I should be closing on the hard money deal the end of July and anticipating redoing the whole permit process starting in August. But as you can see, if you check the record of 1706 Latona Street, you can tell that the previous owner was Plymouth Wallace. I'm the new owner, and there should have been permits for this entire job that were pulled way back, I want to say in 2022, when this whole thing started. I'm extremely apologetic for all the inconvenience, both today and throughout the course of this process. I know we wasted a lot of man hours and a lot of people's time.
Mr. Reed, you understand that you have to get a make safe permit first, and that's just about making it safe. It's not the whole building renovation permit. It's just to get it safe.
Yes, ma'am.
Like right now, the building has no roof. And I was looking at your zoning drawing. The zoning drawing showed to leave the roof. Why did they take the roof off?
Oh, well, no, they took the roof off because it was an existing 2-story. So
Right.
that was a part of the I guess they're putting the 3rd story in the pilot house. They took the
Your zoning drawing showed to do that over the existing roof. I'm curious why they took the roof off. It shows the
I'm not
existing roof in place, but
I'm not sure. Again, like the contract for the existing, for the permit for the existing renovation was done between the previous owner and the developer. And it wasn't until recently that I became more attached to it after becoming the property owner.
all right, Tom, you want to present?
Hey, Tom.
So essentially so just so I can get this straight, I just have one question for Mr. Reed. You said that Mr. Wallace owned the property before you, but he's your cousin, and you and him were together in this venture, correct?
Yes.
Okay, when did you buy the property?
I can't. I mean, I'd have to look back in my records to get the exact date. It should be on the OPA record, though. I believe it's sometime in 2022.
Okay, and when did all the work begin at the property?
After that.
Okay, so essentially we have a property that was had a permit, but then that permit was expired by the building district. In the course of all that, the contractual services unit issued an unsafe case to this property some time ago. With communications between the department and the owner, who is the appellant today, with instructions by the department to obtain a make safe permit. That did not happen, and the property has continued to degrade to the point that material was falling off the property and affecting the adjoining properties and the public. Eminently dangerous case was written following that re-inspection that took place, and we are moving ahead with that designation, and that's where we're at. Again, the appellant on the filing that was in front of this board they are asking for time to get funding. As we stand today, we don't have funding. We have what appears to be a meeting that's going to take place between the.
No, we have
appellant-
funding. I can produce you the, I guess, the closing documents. I just have to wait for closing. It
You
should be
still have to
about
wait for- you still have to wait for closing. That's not a final of your settlement or of actually having the funds. And your appeal says you're in the course of getting funds and you need approximately 45 days. I'm going to share my screen and show what the department at the time of the inspections and what this property looks like today
No, ma'am.
following the inspections. I'm just waiting for my screen to load.
Sorry, Tom, just one question now while that's happening. Michael, is there a fixed date for the closing in August?
No, the closing is in July. I can forward the board the hard money lender. The tax and title are all clean. We're just waiting for the closing date. It's an out-of-state institution that I'm lending from. I can get you their contact information.
But you've been assured closing will be at the end of this month.
Say again, ma'am?
You've been assured that closing will be at the end of this month.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then the closing is for maybe 190,000. I do have the initial, my contractor, the new contractor, I can send you his new contract. And like I said, he's on vacation. He does come back on the 1st of April. August. And I do have enough to pay him to start. Now, obviously, I know I did the structural engineer gave their letter, but I also understand that I do need to do a make safe report, do a make safe permit. But my first goal is to try to stop the bleeding personally, and tearing that house down would really put me even more of a hole than what the contractor did.
Here's, Mr. Reed, I don't mean to cut you off, but here's the situation. The deed that you speak of, recording the property from Mr. Wallace and Tia Wallace to yourself,
Yes.
was recorded April 21st of 2022. There was
Yes.
a permit that was in our system that was issued a month later,
Yes.
and it was issued for construction on that property on May 20th of 2022.
Okay.
That is the permit that Ms. Rivera is speaking of. That coincides with the zoning permit that Ms. Rivera was speaking of. The zoning permit was issued, and now a building permit was issued. There is records in the department that in December this permit was expired. There was a case written against you and against for no call for inspections. Essentially, what transpired after that is the property was deemed unsafe.
Yes.
And with the property being deemed unsafe, I myself, and you said you spoke to somebody from the department in 2023, I remember speaking to you. And I advised you at that time that you needed to get a make-safe permit for the repair of the property. I also remember speaking to a representative about that cornice that you make reference to. That said, we still have material falling off of this property and could strike anyone that's anywhere near this property. And it's continuing to degrade that it's been open to the weather, and the fact that the roof has been removed and a good percentage of the structural members have been removed. You might have crossed the threshold of this not being or meeting the qualifications of an existing building, that this is to the point where it is a new construction that you've removed more than 2/3 of the structural members of this property. And per the zoning code, it does not permit you to remove more than 2/3 of the structural members plus a portion of the building envelope. That said, I'll go right to in the interest of time, I'll go right to the photographs that were taken of the property.
So much.
So this is a photograph of the front of the property. You can see that the roof has been, is no longer there. The front wall is there. And yes, the cornice has been removed from the front of the property. This is the side wall of the property. But this is the property here. You can see that a good percentage of the roof, and it's been open to the weather for a year now. I don't know about these structural members that are tied in. I don't know how much damage that has been done to these structural members, and how much of them are need to be replaced and have been removed. I got brickwork that's falling off of the property, affecting the general public. And that's when the property was posted as eminently dangerous. It was posted May 8th of 2024. This is the unsafe case on the property. And I'm only bringing up the unsafe case because the unsafe case on the property, that's when I myself spoke to you, and that was done on, let me see here, I have it, on October 5th of 2023.
No, I don't want no trouble, sir. Thank you. Sorry.
He's the one that made the.
Oh yeah, he's the one that lent me the charger. Yes. Nice guy.
Tom, can you slow down with the pictures?
I'm sorry. I remember speaking
Slow
to you,
down.
sir. But again, like our first initial conversation, my first goal was to either re-engage or to bring suit against the contractor who put us in this position. Obviously, I didn't do that myself, and I was just kind of left at the whim of somebody who decided that was the point where they wanted to walk off my job, walk off that job site. And then, you know, if he took all of the money that we had to put towards this thing, you know, we were really kind of left, and it was a choice of either try to re-begin work or try to file suit. And we attempted to file suit to get this guy to give us our money back, even resume the job, something. But he really left us in a tough spot. And I mean, I understand that you guys have a job to do, but I've gone this far. I've engaged with the new contractor who, in his mind, he believes that he can get this house back to where it needs to be, where it was supposed to be. I've spoken to the existing, the engineer, the draftsman, and I found the money, which is the most important thing. And I mean, I can promise you, as sure as the sun comes out tomorrow, that I'm personally motivated and dedicated to getting that house back to where it needs to be, so I can solve this issue. I've only been to this board before one time. I'm just having a bad run of it at the moment, and I just ask for some grace.
Michael, what does your structural engineer say about what has to be done to make this safe?
Mr. Clancy's recommendations were, I wish I had the letter. Hold on.
Did you submit the letter to LNI?
I did. Either I did or Mr. Clancy did. Maybe I forwarded it to Ms. Deborah. I can't recall.
My understanding that there was a letter that was provided, but it made reference to the foundation, that it was able to support new construction. But that doesn't negate on how to make the property safe as it is right now.
Tom, again, could you continue scrolling slowly for your photos?
I will, I'll go to the top of the photos.
Those overhead ones were helpful.
Okay. I'll go to the first course of photos, and then I'll go right to the second ones.
Oh.
All right.
So some of those looking down on the property.
Yep. So there's there's one.
And these were recent, okay.
These were taken they were taken May 8th of 2024.
Okay.
Are we looking at the second floor structure and on the left there?
That's what it looks like.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, so it's the roof of the second floor is missing. So one, I assume Clancy would either say that the existing joists supporting the second floor are adequate or need to be replaced or sistered or whatever. But-
Can I see the next set of photos? All right, so that's the side wall at the rear side wall.
Looks like a rear breezeway and
Right.
the
Oh,
where,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Keep going?
yeah,
Okay. Another illustration or another view of the entirety of the top of the property, and then another view of the breezeway, and then the middle of the property,
okay.
and then the posting. And then I'll just so you get the full abreast, I'll go to the unsafes. Here's the unsafe photos that actually show the, let me see, is there anything out? There we go. That shows the front wall, the
Mhm.
cornice that was there, and then the cornice was missing in the other picture.
Got it.
And then that shows the interior at the first floor. The area of concern is that if you're looking at the next photograph that's taken from well, that shows the front wall again. But this one here, it shows the staircase. The staircase is out of plumb, so I don't know what's going on with that first floor and second floor framing that staircase would be connected to. Is it just that return where that would frame into the staircase, or is there something going on with that portion of the structure and that interior framing?
All right, Wayne, would you like to caucus?
Yeah, I think we should. Okay. Okay, Mr. Reed, here's what our findings are.
Yes, sir.
You have to the end of the month to get a make safe permit. Then you have to continue work until that building's made safe.
Yes, sir.
From your licensed contractor. You need a licensed contractor with the city of Philadelphia to do the work. Okay, if you don't
Yes,
have
sir.
a contractor, there's a list in the city, but he must be a licensed contractor.
I'm a licensed contractor.
He is, okay, so you got to the end of the month to get the make safe permit. And then once you get the make safe permit, you have to continually work until that building is made safe. And then the other stuff, that's what your contractor, whatever you're gonna decide what you're gonna do, and I'm sure hopefully you move forward to do the rest of the work. But
Yes, sir.
that's what the findings here of the board is gonna want you to do.
But,
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
but
And
just
this-
want to make sure we heard this correctly. Did you say you're a licensed contractor?
Yes, yes,
Okay, with the city of Philadelphia?
correct.
Okay, all right. I mean,
Yeah,
I was.
But I won't be pulling these
Yeah.
permits though, no. I won't want the same person that's doing all the work. I mean, maybe I can do the make safe because he won't be back until August 1st, so I can do that.
Yeah.
All right, and just to be clear, you have to have the permit, so I would apply as early as you can.
No, I'm
with
gonna
the
do it while
engineering
I'm here
report.
right now.
Well, I don't know that you have the engineering reports that you need to say how to make it safe.
Well, no, I just mean like whatever, like go ask around the corner for whatever documentation I need is what I mean.
They're gonna tell you need an engineer's report and plans for what you're going to do for that property, so I don't wanna sit there and tell you that you're gonna go through the kiosk and everything, because you're gonna get rejected.
Yeah,
Because you don't have that
your-
documentation. I don't want you to waste your time.
Right,
But,
your engineer that you've been working with should know exactly what to do based on, the
The
violation.
finding. Yes, sir.
So let me just make sure that I have the date correct. You said by the end of the month, so that would be permit has to be issued by July 31st?
Yes,
Yes. And work has to continue until it's made safe, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thanks, Mr. Reed, thank you. Okay,
With that, I'm gonna go. I gotta jump into another hearing. Thank
do-
you.
you,
Enjoy
Tom.
the weekend.
All right, Tom, take care.
did we do Wheeler Street?
Yes, that was
Okay,
the person who wasn't there, right?
oh, okay,
Yeah,
Right.
they have to have applied for a permit within 60 days.
okay, fine.
Recommendation.
Then the next case is 1616 North 20th Street.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Are the appellants here?
I have all the appellants and then some. There are 14 people in the waiting room.
Oof.
Okay. Bring them in.
Sir,
Guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, bring them in.
they're joining now.
Okay.
Mr. Miller, this is the court reporter. If there's going to be a whole lot of people participating, and I apologize, I'm still on by phone. I'm hearing clearly and I'm able to report, but could I ask that when people speak, they identify themselves first?
Yes, absolutely. No problem.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Everybody in? Bill?
Yes, sir. Everyone from the waiting room is in.
Glenn Goodman.
Okay. Everybody's in for their waiting room?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I want is whoever's going to be for 1616 North 20th Street. I need you to state your name, your full name, and I'm going to swear each individual in by individually. Who is here from 1616?
Michael McDermott, AP Construction.
Michael McDermott from AP Construction. Michael, you'll be testifying. Can you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you. Who's next from 1616? Is there anybody else going to testify through 1616?
David Shireman with the Sherwood Partnership.
Okay, David, could you raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Who else
Could
is
you
with
please-
1616?
I'm sorry,
Excuse me?
could Mr. Shireman spell, excuse me, could Mr. Shireman spell his last name?
Sure.
SCHEUERMANN.
Thank you.
Okay, who else is from 1616?
Matthew Johnston?
Hi, Matthew. Could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Anyone else from 1616?
That's Corey Neal.
Corey, could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And if anybody's a lawyer, tell me prior. I'm sorry I didn't mention it. Lawyers never lie, so they don't have to be sworn in. Okay.
Mr.
Next
Chairman,
person.
Mr. Chairman, this is Dominic Aspate. I was the applicant.
Okay, Dominic, you're going to be testifying.
I won't be. It'll be
Okay.
Mike McDermott, right?
Okay. Is there anyone else? All right. My name's Wayne Miller. I'm a board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Ryan McSherry, Board Counsel.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay
Deborah
Scarietta.
Richardson, boards, sorry,
Go ahead, Debbie.
go ahead.
Jay Scarietta, Department of License Inspections.
Deborah Richardson, boards administration.
Okay, Phil, could you read that into the record, please?
Yes, sir. This is MI 2024-004-311 for the property located at 1616 North 20th Street. Dominic Espate is the appellant. He's present in the room, as well as Mike McDermott.
Okay, whoever's going to present the case, go ahead.
Wayne, I'd just like to know, Mr. McDermott, we're supposed to have a visual on you, if you could turn a camera on.
Absolutely. Sorry about that.
Okay, Mike. All right, there we go. We got him. Who's ever going to present the case, please do.
Yeah, I'll present the case. As outlined in our, Dave Sharman's letter of June 5th, 2024, we're requesting a variance. After review of our approved building permit, the plans indicated a roof slope of 1/8 inch per foot. This is a modified bit roof. Philadelphia Building Code, however, IBC 2018 requires modified bit roofing to have a minimum slope of 1/4 inch per foot. And this was not flagged by the L&I reviewer. We're requesting a variance for a roof slope of 1/8 of inch per foot, which is what is shown on our documents. We are requesting this because we have been trying to keep the scale of this building, which is a logistics building, warehouse building, within the scale of the existing residential neighborhood. We have already incorporated a number of features into the design of the building, this warehouse building, to keep it as low as possible, such as using compact reduced height pallet storage, minimizing the depth of structural members, minimizing parapet heights. But we would like to further reduce it and keep it to the size that was indicated on our design drawings, so that, again, it keeps within the residential scale of the neighborhood. We had included a letter and a sketch from the roof manufacturer. The roof manufacturers indicated they will provide a full 25-year warranty for the roof slope with 1/8 inch per foot. And the owner also has no objections to having a roof slope of 1/8 inch per foot. We have included the roof plan drawing LA110 showing the roof slope that we are requesting.
I don't know that the board has seen that drawing.
I can share my screen. I have a picture. I have I have that on my screen. I can share my screen if you'd like.
Yes, we'd like. That'd be good.
Okay, let's see.
And if it were sloped at 1/4 inch per foot, and maybe Dave Sherman needs to answer this, how many more inches are we adding?
We would add approximately 14 3/4 inches. Let's see. Okay,
And that's
can
'cause roof
everybody see that?
drains- Yes, and that's because roof drains are at the perimeter.
So the roof is a very simple roof, and this is another reason why we feel that 1/8 inch per foot is not going to be a problem. It is a single monoslope roof, and there are roof drains at the north side, and the slope is from south to north. There are no there are no corners or edges, or the roof is not a difficult roof basically to drain, and so this simple layout, we feel, will give adequate drainage with 1/8 inch per foot.
At the rooftop equipment, there's quite a number of units there. Is there greater slope, kind of creating crickets around those to basically?
Yes, let me show you the
compensate for this?
roof. So GAF has done a layout. This is actually their layout. Their crickets are a little bit more pronounced than ours.
Got it.
What you're seeing down here is some skylights And then there's also some mechanical equipment in here. So basically what you're seeing here are small skylights to admit light into the warehouse area.
So at any of those, I assume those have curbs or whatever they're being.
Yes,
Either-
they typically have curbs so that they extend a minimum of 10 inches above the surface of the membrane. And there's a small cricket on the uphill side.
Right.
You can see the only corner is at this point here. Everything else is just a straight shot into the drain.
There was, I just glanced at the letter from GIF. I don't have that in front of me, but yeah, comment here that lack of water tightness or challenges with the roofing system due to ponding water is excluded from the guarantee. Is if the ponding is because of the 1/8-inch slope, as how is that handled?
So we've talked extensively with both the roofer and GAF on this. The slope in this case is entirely by the structural steel, and so that is actually in place, and they've checked it, and there are no low spots. What GAF is warning here is that when the installer is stacking his materials on the roof, he just needs to be careful that he doesn't dent the insulation. The insulation is not sloped except at the crickets, and they just want to make sure that they don't overload the roof in spots that might create a small divot. But other than that, they don't have concerns. And I said, as I've mentioned, we've spoken with the installer on this, and they feel that this is something that's easily achieved as well.
Only other question is that I saw there's quite an extensive walkway system on there. How high does that project above the roof? And I mean, is that will that impede the water basically draining across there?
No, it shouldn't. So if you see, there are these long skinny roof units, the mechanical units are placed parallel to the direction of drainage.
Right.
And all we're doing is we're making sure that every piece of mechanical equipment has a roof walk, a dedicated roof walk that they can get to, so they're not necessarily walking on the bare membrane itself. We've done this also so that the roof membrane won't get damaged over time.
So how tall is this building?
It is 31 feet currently.
And that's on the high side?
That is on the high side. The parapet is designed so that the parapet is level all the way around the building, so that you can't see that the roof is sloped from a distance.
And you're saying you wanted to kind of conform to the neighborhood? Because I see on Google, there's new 3-story buildings across the street, catty corner. Like, I don't understand why that 14 inches is so important.
Well, the current zoning is ICMX, which does allow us varied height, much more above this. But what we've tried to do in the design of the building is to have it conform to the feeling of the neighborhood. And the neighborhood, of course, is mainly residential. It's a mix of RSA 3, RSA 5, RM1, and it's a mix of 2-story and 3-story. We feel, because this is basically a 2-story building, we'd like to keep it as low as possible so that it feels almost like a 2-story building from the distance. You'll never get up close to it. But because it's a campus, we're trying to achieve this residential-like feel.
So Amy, it was a concerted effort to take whatever tools we had to reduce the height of the building. It was reduced from 42 feet down to 31.4. And the 1/8-inch slope was one of the tools we used. Yes, it's a little over a foot, but you combine that with everything else, and it became a substantial reduction. So we're just looking for relief in that regard.
Okay, you will,
Can
wanna
you zoom in
caucus?
on, can we see elevations?
okay, go ahead.
Yes, I can share some elevations. Let me stop sharing and I will bring up some of the drawings.
Probably the south elevation, right? That would be the best.
Yes.
And I believe the builders here, the architects here, the attorneys here, the expediters here, is there an owner present that's willing to agree to this? And understands the implications of a lesser roof slope than what's required.
So Matt, you can speak to that, right? I mean, as far as,
Yes.
the meetings you attended and where the subject came up and basically gave, approval of, the 1/8-inch slope.
Yeah, this is something that we discussed early in the design process. And PHA was on board with it from the start. I'm not sure why there isn't anybody in attendance. We had invited several people from PHA, and I had expected them to be here. They had, as
I'm
I said,
sorry,
we had-
Matt, sorry to interrupt. Hi, Amy. Hi, Matt. This is Michael Crowley. I'm with PHA.
Okay,
So
great.
I didn't
Thanks,
announce
Mike.
my name from the beginning, but yes, I'm here and I,
Hey, Mike, hold on, Mike,
yes,
could, we see a picture of you?
yes, absolutely. How
And
you
could you
doing?
raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry for the interruption.
And
Yeah,
just for
sorry
the
to
court
interrupt.
reporter, that's Michael Crowlen, Crowlen.
No, sorry. It's Michael
Thank you.
Crowley, Crowley.
It spells differently on the screen.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I just want to state that, yes, I'm with PHA and I am the owner. And as far as the design goes, I'm in agreement with AP. So thank you.
Wayne Caucus?
Sure, no problem. Okay, after our deliberations, there is a little bit of risk here, and I think that PHA doesn't have that issue, and with that, we will grant the variance.
We do want to make it clear that, we're weighing this specific instance, this should not be taken as, something
norm.
that for, in future projects, or an expectation from L&I.
Yeah, this is an isolated incident.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right, guys, good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Okey dokey. Okay, the next one is 1738 Pine Street. Okay, is everyone here from Pine Street?
Hyun, you're part of Pine Street.
Yes, I'm here. I'm Hyun Kang from KCA Design. And-
Are you the only one here from Pine Street?
The owner is here as well, Glenn Goodman.
Is Glenn going to be testifying?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, where's Glenn? I don't see his face. Glenn, if you hear me, I can't see it.
Hey, hold on a second. I just gotta.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Hold on. Almost there. I don't know what's happening here. Hold on. Let me try it over again.
I just sent a prompt to ask him to start the video.
Okay, just take your time. Okay. Hyun, could you please raise your right, because you're going to be testifying, could you please raise your right hand? State your name and would you raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And could you state your name for
No problem.
recorder?
Hyun, Hyon, last name Kang, Kang, from KCA Design Associates.
Okay.
I'm all screwed up here. I don't know how to get your picture. What the? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm Glenn
Okay.
Goodman. I can't see anything. Everything was
Okay,
fine.
well, I'm gonna swear you in anyway. Please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. Is that the only two people that are gonna be testifying in this case?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted Ogby's board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Brad McSherry, Board Counsel.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Deborah Richardson, Boards of Administration.
Jay Scurria, Department of License Inspections.
Okay, Phil, could you read that into the record, please?
Yes, sir. This is MI 2024-004-308 for the property located at 1738 Pine Street. Hyun Kang is the appellant. He's present in the room, sir.
Yes.
Okay, whoever's gonna present the case, go ahead.
Okay. I can share the screen. I mean, there really isn't much to share, but
Okay,
just bear with me for 1 second.
sure.
I just have it. Okay, fine.
Okay, let me see if I can share the screen now. Okay, my client Glenn had purchased this property as a multifamily unit. When he went to, I guess, look at the zoning and the actual rental license, it had it as, I guess, a 6-unit building. There was actually a 7th unit that the previous owner had rented out. So to legalize the building, he went through, I guess, a variance process to get the 7th unit legalized. In terms of construction, nothing was done. Everything was there. The only thing that he had pretty much done was just replace a few appliances. But in changing from a 6 to 7 unit, it triggered a sprinkler requirement. So we're looking for a relief from the sprinklers.
Do you know whether the 7th unit was the first floor front unit or?
It was the first floor front unit.
Okay.
It's the one that's not stippled in the dotted hatch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks.
There are 2 means of egress, front and back. One, I guess, directly to Pine, and one on the side street as well. There's currently an existing 1-hour rated door. I can kind of put some additional pictures up of the existing, if that shows up. Sorry. So that's just the existing unit. And and the unit was already pre-rented when he purchased it as well. So he just wanted to make sure everything was brought up to proper, at least legal standards for rental.
So this is what it looked like in 2001 when it was purchased?
Yes, pretty much. No changes other than the couple appliances.
So there was no change of occupancy?
So it was, I think originally, this is where Glenn, we came in for the CEO portion of it. Glenn had actually hired an attorney, went through the use of
Zoning.
occupancy. It was always a multifamily, but I think it had only 6 units, but there was a 7th unit that was rented out in the front ground floor. So once that update came in, we submitted for a CO to update from 6 to 7 units, and then it triggered a sprinkler requirement.
But there were COs for the 6 units and there, as well as rental licenses for the 6 units.
Yes.
Okay.
Are they, this is Lieutenant Dimes Fire Code, are they asking for just the 1 unit to be sprinklered or the entire building?
They're asking to sprinkler the entire building because you can't sprinkler just 1 unit.
Yeah.
Jace, is that true?
Yeah, bring it back.
So
Give it to Chelsea.
technically you're extending the fire area. Historically, the board, if you separate the building with, separate just the 1 unit, which is firewalls, since it's type 5 construction, you only require 2-hour rating. So if you do the ceiling and the walls and make it a separate building, you would only need to sprinkler the first floor level unit on the front portion. Luckily, it's in a location where you could it's kind of like an alcove. You can literally rate everything 2 hours, and it would be technically considered a separate building. So then you would just need to sprinkler just that 1 unit.
So so is that an option, you said, to sprinkler just the 1 unit?
If the board would have to give that variance, but that
Got
is
it.
one option.
Okay.
And Jace, would that have to be a tap as opposed to off the domestic line?
So you cannot do a 13D for multifamily dwelling.
No, it's a 4-story building, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
That's being R.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
The 4th floor unit starts on the 3rd floor, so that's technically just the 4th floor unit. When I bought the place, there was 8 electrical panels, and sort of from the beginning. That's all I have to say right now.
13Ds are only permitted for single and 2 family. So
Okay.
anything above that requires a 13R sprinkler system. So it's not just stories, it's the use and occupancy as well.
I'm sorry, Mr. Scaria, this is the reporter. Could you please speak up just a little?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's
Okay.
better. Thank you.
Do you want me to repeat what I just said?
Would you please?
Okay, so a 13D system is only permitted for a 1 and 2 family dwelling. This is a 7 family dwelling, so a 13R system is required. So the use and occupancy and the stories matter for that sprinkler system.
In terms of Mr. Goodman's comment, I assume there would have been a separate meter for the whatever commercial space that on that 1st floor front in the past. So that's, it makes sense. And probably the 8th was a house.
Correct. Yeah, that was
house-
the house electric.
Yeah.
John, what do you think?
I mean, it's a tough one. Historically, you guys, I mean, if people buy a building and there's really no change of occupancy, this is a little different than what you've granted in the past, right? It's you usually look at meters and when they were bought and whether or not what they were buying, you know, they think it's one thing and it turns out to be something else. Something like this, you know, by right, I mean, sprinklering that one area, would that actually be a variance, or would that just basically you wouldn't really need a variance if they did that? Is that correct, Jace?
No.
I would say a variance will be required for that.
So they're required to sprinkle the whole building?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. Technically you're not extending the fire area because it's already an R2, so.
Right.
I'll take a look at the commentary and get back to you on that one. But
okay,
you can definitely do if you do make it a separate building, I think that would help the case.
If we sprinkler just the front unit, that would have to be a 13 system, or can that still be a 13R?
It can be a 13R.
Correct.
But we would have to 2-hour rate that area, split it out completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The walls and the ceiling between.
Is there a basement to this, or is it just?
There's an existing basement as well.
Okay. Do you know if the floor ceiling assembly is 2 hours or is it 1?
That I did not double check for the front unit. I know everywhere else it is 1 hour rated. All the doors are rated. Everything's already set up for a standard, you know, multifamily R2. Even the front unit's set up that way as well, where that front door is already a rated door. So since nothing was ever being done since he's purchased, we were hoping that we can get relief from the entire sprinkler requirement.
Wayne, do you want to caucus?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Okay, we're looking to give you a variance with it. If you put a 2-hour separation around that room, floors, walls, and ceilings, or you can sprinkle this. You could sprinkle just the apartment itself instead of. It would give you a variance. There's two things we do. We give a 2-hour separation around that apartment with floors, walls, and ceilings, or you can have bring in a 2-inch feet or whatever you're going to bring in and sprinkle that apartment. Either or, it's up to you guys.
Can I ask a question? The floor,
Sure.
if it's hardwood floors, how do I get 2-hour separation? What do I have to put something underneath the hardwood floors?
From the cellar side, Glenn. So we would have to
get a sheetrock guy in there to put in double 5/8. Is that what it is? Or just
yeah. So we would need 3 layers, I think, from the underside. And then for the walls, we would have to add 2 layers, like 1 on each side, or 2 layers on one side, depending on what some of the details say. So we would have to literally the 2-3 walls that go around the bathroom, the hall, and down that entryway. We would have to add like a double layer of 5/8.
Okay.
I have to see which detail works. If we can do all from one side or if it's 1 on each side, right?
Okay.
And then we would have to add like 2 more layers on the ceiling, as well as potentially the basement.
And I'm
Thanks.
presuming this is an old plaster wall and that you might already have.
couple, it's pretty thick.
You might already
Yes,
have.
some of the walls are over an inch thick with existing. So we just have to double check to see what's there, Glenn. And then we can figure out what the proper detail is.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
But I think, yeah, the additional creating a 2-hour separation would be the easiest.
Guys, if you do any more renovations in there, you're gonna have to pull permits to do, like, you know, if you're doing a kitchen, things like that. You know, when you make things legal all the time. So if I was you guys, if you're gonna do the 2-inch, 2-hour separation around everything, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so, Glenn. I think that's going to be much easier than trying to get a tap to just sprinkler the front unit.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, guys, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. Rover? Very cool. How do we get out of here? Trying to get out.
Up front.
Goodbye. Thank you.
2100 Ben Franklin Parkway. Okay, we're the last one.
How do I get out of here?
Okay, 2100 Ben Franklin Parkway. Who's here from 2100?
Mr. Chairman, I'm here, Peter Kelson, Kelsen. I'm counsel to Calder.
Okay, Peter, you don't have to be sworn in because you're a counsel. Is there anyone else with you that's going to testify?
Yes, I believe that Paul.
Yes,
is on.
Paul?
Yes,
And he will
Paul
be
Argetti.
Go ahead.
Yes. Paul Argetti, Ballinger, Architect of Record.
Okay, Paul, if you're not a lawyer, could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, anybody else going to testify?
Yeah, Michael Berlando with LF Driscoll, the construction manager for the project.
Okay, hey, Mike, could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Is there anyone else?
I'm just gonna ask if the court reporter needs spellings of those names.
No, Ms. Rivera, thank you very much. I am back online through Zoom, so I can see the names.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll get started. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ed Agus, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Brian McSherry, Board Counsel.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Okay,
Jay
Phil,
Scoria, Department of License Inspections.
Phil, could you read that into the record, please?
Yes, sir. MI 2024-004-497 for the property located at 2100 Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Paul Argetti is the appellant. He's present in the room today, sir.
Okay, whoever's going to present the case, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks. I have a brief presentation here, hopefully make it easier to follow. I request if I can share my screen.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, can you all see that?
Yes, we can.
Great. So before I start, this is just an image. You may be familiar with this project. It's for Calder Gardens, a new cultural destination art gallery on Ben Franklin Parkway. This is just a rendering from the northwest corner of the site, looking back towards Center City. Just quickly for our agenda today, we want to go through the refusal that we're asking a variance for today. I'd like to lead you through a quick overview of the project to show you the condition of the doors we're asking about. That includes life safety overview to explain our position, and then go through the appeal for our basis and some precedent conditions that we think are relevant to the project and the request, and then a conclusion. Calder Gardens had proposed a delayed egress lock at 2 locations in the project. Door 320LB, which is located at the exit out of stair 3 from the art galleries, and door L004, which is located in the retail space. Both are egress doors to the exterior of the building. And these conditions were subject to refusal in our recent revised permit review because they are not allowable under IBC section B-1010.1.9.8 delayed egress, which provides in part that delayed egress locking systems shall be permitted to be installed on doors serving listed occupancies in buildings that are equipped throughout with automatic sprinkler system or approved automatic smoke or heat detection system. Our building is a group A3 occupancy and art gallery, and that is not one of the permitted occupancies under this code section. So we had the refusal, and we're here today to request a variance to allow the delayed egress lock at these 2 door locations. So if you can permit me, I think it'd be helpful to kind of guide you through an overview of the project. zooming you into the conditions of the two doors to give you context for our request. So again, Calder Gardens, a cultural destination, which is designed for visitors to have moments of personal introspection, reflection with works of art. It's a dedicated museum to the work of Alexander Calder and the Calder family, which have a special connection and meaning to the city of Philadelphia. It's located on the south side of Ben Franklin Parkway, a couple blocks north of Logan Circle, and across from the Barnes Foundation, which will be operating this building for the owner. So zooming into the site plan, I just want to orient you. So it's a relatively small site on just under 2 acres. And so a relatively small building on the site. Again, it's the south edge of the site, surrounded by meandering pathways and gardens. It's bounded on the north by Ben Franklin Parkway, the west by North 22nd Street, to the east, North 21st, and the Vine Street Expressway to the south. Again, it's quite a modest building for a cultural institution, only a little more than 18,000 square feet, most of which is below grade, a little over 13,000 square feet, and about 5,000 square feet above grade. It is a Group A3 occupancy, as I said, an art gallery, Type 2B construction, and does have automatic sprinkler system throughout, as well as a smoke detection system. So I'm going to quickly walk you through the life safety plans that are part of the permit set. I think they'll just give you some context for where these doors are relative to the egress paths of the building. I'll start at the basement, the below grade level, where it's the primary occupancy level, and then bring you up to the doors in question. So this is fully below grade. This is where all of the art galleries for the project are located. This floor is about 11,000 square feet. And you can see it's got several different shaped galleries, a modest multi-purpose room at the west side, restrooms, mechanical room. It also has an outdoor sculpture garden, which is limited to occupants to under 49 occupants by the size and configuration. And there are 2 exits out of this floor, roughly at the east and west sides. The east side is leads into a rated stairwell, which discharges up to one of the doors in question, door ST30LB. And the door at the right, the exit to the right is via an exit access stair, an open exit access stair, which leads up to the lobby. I'll show you that in a moment. There's a small mezzanine level, which is basically mostly a pass-through space. There's a small viewing platform overlooking the double height galleries, which are X'd out open to below. Some circulation, a small storage area, and then access continues to the exit access stair proceeding up. You can see here the rated stair 3 passing through this level. And when you get to the ground level, the lobby level we call it, it's kind of split into 2 sections, east and west, by this multi-height gallery in the middle. On the west side is the public lobby, public entrance to the building, which consists of a lobby, coat locker area, and a small retail space. So that exit access there I pointed out before will continue where my cursor is through this kind of viewing platform and up a monumental stair into lobby and then out the building. So we have the main entrance exit here at the north side of the building. And then the second door in question is door L004, which is the second means of egress out of this level and the corner of the retail space. On the east side is the administrative wing. It's not public, it's just for employees, staff, some office space, conference space, other mechanical spaces, and also importantly, I'll get to this later, a security station, which is manned 24/7. And here you can see the discharge from stair 3 to that second door, door ST30LB. And then I'll just zoom in one last time to those stairs. Let me start with door ST30LB. Again, this is discharged from the rated stair, serving one of the 2 serving the galleries. And due to the unique and irreplaceable collection of the galleries, we're proposing this delayed egress at this location to assist security personnel in apprehending persons who might be fleeing after theft or vandalizing of the artwork in the below grade galleries. I'd like to point out that there's a delay of 15 seconds maximum upon applying force to the egress device. And also want to point out that this is a 1-hour rated stair on this side. And the second door in question, door L004, just again zooming in, this is out of the retail space, and the owner is concerned about having some opportunity for their security personnel to apprehend folks, and prevent theft out of the retail space. I should probably point out on this drawing here that although there are two exits, the owner anticipates that most of the people exiting the museum will exit through those public doors kind of off to the right here. We're anticipating that this door will mostly be used by anybody who happens to find themselves within the retail or coat check in the event of emergency. So again, I'm going back to the basis for our variance. Because we're an A3 occupancy, we wouldn't apply to the permitted occupancies for delayed egress devices. We still could point out that although it is an A3 occupancy, it is a relatively small building, again, just under 18,000 square feet. And even though the design occupant load is a little over 400 people for the whole building, the owner intends through operational, means to substantially limit that. They don't want, anywhere near that amount of people in the gallery at any one time.
Paul, could I just jump in for one quick second? I just want
please
to make one point for the board, if I could. Members of the board, in the event that the life safety system is triggered, the sprinkler system is triggered, fire detection alarm is triggered, or power goes out, the delay is no longer. It's an automatic exit. So in the event of an emergency that's triggered, as you can see from what Paul just put up, which is really important, we're not impeding egress from the property. Thank you.
And moreover, yeah. Sorry, one last thing.
Does that include the pool station?
I'm sorry? Yes, the pull station would activate the system.
Automatic. You
Correct.
said automatic, like a flow alarm or an automatic
Yeah,
smoke
flow
alarm.
Correct. Correct. And moreover, I just want to point out the third bullet point here. Beyond the automatic deactivation or release of the doors, I also mentioned that on the upper level, there's a monitored security station 24/7. There's cameras all over the building, and they also have the capability with the controls to release those doors immediately, remotely from the location. So just another level of life safety control there. If it is an actual emergency, that's in an event, they can release the door as well and not have 15 seconds. They can override it.
So the only thing that triggers this 15-second delay, somebody pushing on a bar to get out?
Correct.
Okay. And just, I know you said you were going to talk about precedents. I know the Barnes came before us for a similar variance, and if Ellen and I could just look up what we did at the Barnes, that'd be helpful.
And here, Ms. Rivera, here it is on the screen. We anticipated your thought. That was the variance granted. It's self-explanatory. This is really the same thing, same type of use. Actually,
yeah, it's obviously a previous iteration of the section, but it's essentially the same requirements of the section, and all the same controls and conditions of use will be in place here. And as I said, the Barnes will be operating this building as well. So sort of an extension of the Barnes in a way.
Out of curiosity, I mean, when force is placed on the doors, is there any kind of signage that, lets you know that there is a 15-second delay? I mean, so you don't.
Yes, I believe the code dictates the signage we have. So whatever's required will indicate, door release at 15 seconds. So.
And when you said substantially less than the 409 calculated occupant load, do you have a sense of what that maximum occupancy is?
To be honest, in the gallery situation, I think they don't anticipate any more than 200 at one given time. I mean, there is a capacity that this could be, rented for events. So we do acknowledge that there may be more in certain situations, but in a typical, as a gallery use, typical day to day, The owner anticipates no more than 200 at any given time.
Ted, we also monitor the ticketing and reservation system. So we control how many visitors at one time are in the building.
So if there are no other questions, I'll just quickly run through just a summary of the request here. Again, the art collection in this Calder Gardens building consists of precious, unique works of art that are truly irreplaceable, and they have special meaning for Philadelphia. And it would represent a hardship for the owner if this variance is not granted to help protect the collection. Again, the egress device is subject to 15-second maximum delay. We have the constant monitoring by on-site security personnel that can release remotely and immediately to override the delay. And they will immediately unlock upon activation of the fire sprinkler or the fire alarm, or upon loss of power. Again, it's very similar, actually identical to the variance requested previously and granted previously by the board for the Barnes Foundation. And as Peter indicated, we feel there's really no degradation of life safety for the occupants by granting this variance. So thank you. That's all we have.
Happy to answer any questions.
Amy, Ted, you have any questions?
I do not.
Nope.
Are you good with this?
I am if the fire department is.
Yeah, I got-
John's next.
Yeah, I got no problem at all. It's about as good as it get. It's
Okay. All right. So Ted, Amy and I'm good with it. Ted and Amy's good with it. Fire department's good with it. You got your variance.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Okay,
Really
guys,
appreciate
good
it.
And
luck.
Paul, how many doors is it that are gonna have this option?
Two.
Two.
For 2 doors, okay.
And when will the museum be open?
We believe in 2025, Ted.
Hopefully this time next year. That's the goal.
Ted, get in line.
We're moving as quickly as we can. We really are.
This helps a lot. This variance helps a lot. So thank you.
All right, guys, good luck.
You will.
Okay,
Thank
take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Okey dokey.